Hey everybody, what's up? This is Z-Dog. Today I'm going to cook a pot roast. I'm going to try to give you my little recipe. It's really simple. It's pretty much everybody else's, The one part that a lot of people don't like to do, and that is to both sides. So you get a little bit of cooking oil in there. You don't want a lot. I'm going to turn the dial up pretty well on high. We want that to heat up nicely. Remember to always clean it. Now I do have this celery. Got myself regular potatoes, but the preferred potato is the small yellow potatoes. I got minced garlic. Very important to have. And then the other thing that's important to have is this. The pot roast itself. A big old fat piece of chuck. Yeah, it's very nice. Now, I'm using baby carrots because they soften up and they're sweet when they get cooked. And I got 2 onions cut in half, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. I probably should have one more onion. And then we're going to stick it inside of here for a while, and hopefully that will take care of it. Now, what we want to do is figure out what happened to my salt. So, what we're supposed to do is generously salt the top of that. Just generously salt, even a little bit on the edges, a little bit of salt. And when you get done, you flip it over. But what we really want to do is we want to salt and pepper both sides. And the best way that I know to do it, there's pores. Oh yeah, you want that in there. Rub that around a little bit. Pick it up. Now, hold on now. Flop it over. Do the other side the same way. Generously. And we're going to cook that little buddy right there. We're going to cook that gnat. For some reason, he decided he had to be on top of there. And put some pepper on top of this right here. Rub that in. There's going to be plenty of this to go around, believe it or not. Once that is heated up to where we want it, we're going to sizzle it. I'll come back and show you once it's hot enough. Always check the temperature like this. Never like that. This will burn. You're sensitive. But this will tell you how hot it is. But when you start hearing it crackle, that's when you want to stick it in. Now, I didn't do anything extravagant to the onions, although I did cut them in big slices. Instead of dicing them and mincing them, I chopped them into small pieces. So, now that we got it in there, you can see it's going to, they say to do it for about 5 minutes, but I ain't going to do that. That's pretty hot. Pretty hot. But it should be alright once it's done. Make sure you use them. I'll show you what it looks like. Now, we'll just flip it over now because that side is done. Believe it or not, that was a little bit hot. Splashed up on me. See how it cooked like a first layer of that? Got the fat in there. It's going to look real nice when it's done. Now, to give you an idea, after salt and pepper in it, and searing it, this is what it should look like all the way around. I did the edges all the way around as well. You want it to brown. You don't really want to burn it. If you're not careful, it will burn. That was real close, but the reason why we do this is to lock in juices, because when you're cooking in a crock pot or in the oven, these things will juice out, but coating it on both sides actually lock in the juices. Now, I also cut the celery into finger length. They will cook down and be soft eventually. Now, with the garlic, we're not going to use a lot. 2 regular spoons like this, just a regular old spoon that you would eat your cereal with, just 2 of them. I'll show you what it looks like. That's just one. Oh, that's gonna be so good. It's gonna cook down inside there. I'll show you what this looks like when I do this. You put one straight on top. This is gonna be strong, but it'll cook into everything else. And then one on the side, but we're gonna mix that up. And I'll show you what it looks like. So as you can see, I got some in the water. I forgot to tell you to put a little water at the bottom. You don't want a lot, or else you'll drown it. But you definitely want a little water in there because the vegetables are going to go in there too, and you want them to steam. Now, out of all that, I took three generous handfuls of baby carrots, threw them in there, took all the onions. I did not break them apart like this. I didn't do that. I dropped them in there as they were, because as it cooks, it'll fall apart and they'll dissolve mostly. Now at the bottom I put the celery. The celery takes probably longer than the carrots, simply due to the fact it's a different type of density. And you would think that with celery that it would be one of the first, but it's not. You need to cook down the stringy parts. Those will be so good. The last thing we got to do is a potato. I've only got 3 potatoes. 3 potatoes. We're going to wash them up real nice. We're going to cut and cut. This one I'll have to do it 3 times and then go like that. And that's as many as we actually need. I might chop it just a little bit more to give extra potatoes. But these will cook down. This particular potato will cook down and there won't be much left of it. As you can see, I had to chop them up just a little bit more. But basically, I went like that, and chop, chop, chop. And then I went back through a couple of them. Like this one, I could have chopped one more time. But it'll cook down. Most of that will be gone. As you can see, I just went ahead and chop, 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 guys. Now we're going to go ahead and stick these inside of there, and then might add just a little bit more broth to it. Some people can use beef broth in that. I just use water, believe it or not. Water, garlic, salt, pepper, and parsley. Yep, parsley flakes, and some oregano maybe. Everybody's a little bit different. These are just recipes, but you don't even have to do all that. It doesn't really call for it. So we got everything in there. Let me show you what's going on here. You could see right there how far down that water is. So that is about halfway. So what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle some more pepper on top of that. Oh yeah. You want that pepper to cook in there. Pepper's good. And you'll put some salt. Salt will cook down inside there. I'm not a big salt fan myself, but salt will cook in. And then we'll come back in roughly 4 hours and see what this does.